Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be my May TBR. These are some of my favorite videos to film, and I'm going to go back to the way I used to do it, where I have prompts in a mug, and I will be picking 6 books today, because I might have to add a couple at the end. I'm participating in Escape the Readathon this month. This is a competitive team-based readathon hosted by Books with Lexi, and I'm on Team Podcasters, and basically the main goal is to work with your team to open up different rooms throughout the cruise ship this year, which is really fun. As you unlock the rooms and get inside the rooms, games will be presented to you. To complete the games, you have 2 different prompts to read for, and you have to read the correct number of books for the prompt that will get you out of the room. So it's a really fun experience. I played last year and I don't think we won, but I had a really good time. And May is my month where I have a good 2 weeks between my spring semester and my summer class that I'm taking. So I do have a good 2 weeks to just sit and read and exist in this world. They have 6 prompts for the 6 different rooms on this cruise ship that we have to go into. And I do have the list right here. If I do not pull one of the prompts from the jar, because I do have I have 5 of the 6 prompts in this jar. One of the prompts is kind of a pick at the time of reading type of prompt. But if I do not pull these prompts or have a book that fits one of the prompts, I will be adding that at the end of the game. So, to begin, let's go with draw number 1 and see what we get. Reread any book. So, I actually have some books on here that I've read in the past. It has been a very long time since I've read these books because I brought back my middle school books. I'm very excited. I have not read any of these middle school books since middle school, hence why they're my middle school books. But I do have a shelf on my bookshelves that has all of my middle school books, and I really want to get through them and reread all of them and potentially finish some series, because I realized as I was putting them on my shelf that there are multiple series that I started in middle school where I never read the 3rd book, or I never continued after book 1. So on my cart here, I have my trusty TBR cart. I actually have 3 books from middle school on this cart. I have Divergent, The Eye of Mines, and The Hunger Games. And I know Hunger Games is blowing up right now with the new books coming out, and I do want to reread The Hunger Games because I never read Mockingjay, and I am feeling very much FOMO about the Sunrise on the Reaping, because like everybody's loving it. My friend literally called me crying, and I need to know what it's about. So I could reread The Hunger Games. The Eye of Mines is by James Dashner. You may know him from the Maze Runner series. I personally did not like the Maze Runner series, but I do like The Eye of Mines. And I also never read the 3rd book of that series. I read the first 2, but not the 3rd one. I also have Divergent here by Veronica Roth. I loved Divergent when I was younger. I read it for the first time in like 7th grade, because I think that's when it came out. It came out when I was in middle school. So I read it for the first time in 7th grade, and I read it 3 times in one weekend because I got so excited about it and really loved it. So out of those 3, I think I'm going to go with The Hunger Games, just because I want to reread the series and finish it and then be able to get into the new books that have come out. So The Hunger Games is going to go on my TBR first. Okay, number 2. An author I have read before. So I have quite a few books on here of authors that I have read before. I have Funny Story by Emily Henry. I have, obviously, the 2 middle school books that are still on here. I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have the 2nd book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. And I have The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown and Song of Susanna by Stephen King. And I'm in the middle of The Wolves of the Kala right now, and I do believe I'm going to finish it before the end of the month because I only have like 3 hours left of the audiobook. I'll probably just listen to it tomorrow and be done. So I could read Song of Susanna, because then that'll set me up to read The Dark Tower either this coming month or in June. So I don't know if I want to go with that. So I've been really wanting to read Mistborn. That's a lot of reallys. And I actually have time to read it this month. So I think I'm going to go Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Mistborn is a fantasy. I'm on chapter 3, actually. I'm on page 36. So Mistborn is a fantasy novel that basically, if you are Mistborn, you can intake metal and use it to your advantage. It's a metal-based power where each type of metal alloy does a different type of power. And the main character has decided he wants to overthrow the government and overthrow the emperor, and he is a Mistborn, and he finds a young girl and decides to take her under his wing because she's also Mistborn, and he thinks she can help him with his task. I've been wanting to read Brandon Sanderson's backlist and all of his Cosmere, and I have not read Mistborn yet. I'm 200 pages into The Way of Kings. I haven't finished that. Mistborn's going on my TBR for an author I've read before, and I definitely want to get through as much of the Cosmere as I can before, I think, next February, because Brandon Sanderson announced a new secret project, and I'm very excited because it uses birds as magical beings, and that sounds freaking awesome to me. So, Mistborn's going on my TBR. Very diverse TBR already. I've got Mistborn, which is like high fantasy, epic fantasy, 500 plus pages, and then I've got The Hunger Games. Not a lot of thinking involved. I've read it before, etc. Okay, so draw number 3. A book for a video idea. In the month of May, I do plan on trying to do a video a week, like different reading vlogs. I have 2 of them planned. One of them may involve this row right here of all my book of the month books, and then the other one may or may not have something to do with The Hunger Games. So those are my 3 that I'm thinking of, and I think it'd be interesting, or I think it'd be a good idea to do multiple videos this month because of Escape the Readathon and getting into actually reading a lot more for that. So I think I'm actually going to continue with the middle school book readathon reads. I think I'm going to read I Have Minds. His name is Michael, and he is a gamer, and he has decided to go into the VirtueNet, which is the virtual reality universe of his world, and while he's there, he realizes people are being held hostage, and he has to go save them. So it sounds awesome, it is awesome, and I like it a lot more than the Maze Runner series. I Have Minds by James Dashner is going on the TBR for a book for a video. Book number 4. Continue a series. I have a few different options for this one. I can read The Quiet Room by Terry Miles, or I can read The Songs of Susanna, which I think I'm going to go with that one. This is book number 6 in the Dark Tower series. Can't really tell much about what this one is about because it spoils pretty much every other book in the series up to this point. But basically the Dark Tower is the Dark Tower series is a Western novel series. It is a fantasy series. It is set in this universe where the world is dying, and Roland of Gilead, he is a gunslinger, and he has the main task of getting to the Dark Tower to see if he can revert the changes of the world. He wants to fix whatever is wrong with the Dark Tower and make the world a better place. So that is the gist of the whole universe. And he recruits 3 people from different time periods in New York to help him with this task. How he gets those people and what happens once they get to Midworld, that's told throughout the rest of the books, so I'm not going to go into that. However, I know that this one is going to be a little different because they do split up, and Susanna kind of goes on her own for a while, and I'm very excited to see where this story goes because I've been really enjoying it, and book 5 has been absolutely wild. So this is book number 4 on my TBR. Book number 5 is going to be, oh, it's a little one, a standalone. So I did a little bit of research, and I am going to believe what Goodreads says, where it doesn't have a little number 1 or the beginning of a new series. And I am picking Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poranek for my standalone. So Where the Dark Stands Still, it's a book I've heard a little bit about on YouTube. I've seen a few different people read it, but not very many. And basically, Where the Dark Stands Still is about a young girl who has always believed that magic is evil, that magic is no good, and she decides that she wants to get rid of her magic. She has magic, she wants to get rid of it. So she goes looking for a magical flower that will be able to grant her a wish and take away her magic forever, which would render her safe and just a normal person. When she goes to get this magical flower, she is confronted by a demon warden of the woods who offers her a bargain. Basically, the bargain is that he takes her to be his servant for 1 year in his cabin in the woods, and if she survives that 1 year, he will just hand over the flower and she will become normal. And I'm pretty sure this is a fantasy romance where they end up, becoming friends and then more than that. So I've been really intrigued by it. The cover is absolutely gorgeous, and the back is also pretty, and it's just a really, really nice looking book in general. It sounds awesome. I am very excited to read it, and I am going to use this as a standalone. I'm hoping that it's actually going to be a standalone, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's book number 5. So for now, this will be the last draw. And then I'm going to be doing some assessments on what else I need for the readathon. So, next draw number 6. A book I have low expectations for. So, for low expectations, draw number 6, I think I'm going to pick a book from Book of the Month that I chose because I thought it sounded intriguing, and it was like the only one for that month that I thought was intriguing. And I'm going to go with Alice Feeney, Beautiful Ugly. I thought the cover was pretty, first of all. And it is the only one from, when was this from? It was the only book of the month from December that I thought had any promise for me. I didn't think any of the other ones sounded intriguing, and this one, I knew the author. I knew that she was a loved author, so I went with it. I don't really know anything about it, and it is a mystery thriller type book, so I don't think I really want to read the inside cover. But it is a mystery thriller by Alice Feeney. It looks like there's a little house up on a hill. There's that. But I will go with Beautiful Ugly as a low expectation book, just because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. But that is my best hope that I might actually enjoy it, because it is a Book of the Month book, so I do have a good track record with them and liking what they've put out. So although there are low expectations, I do think I could like it and I could enjoy it. I'm just not a huge mystery thriller person. I'm going to go through and see if these books will hit the prompts from the Escape the Readathon list, and if they do, then I think I'm going to pick 2 more books just randomly from my jar, get to 8, and if they don't, I'm going to pick based off of the prompts here, because I didn't pick any of the prompts from Escape the Readathon, because I did mark them down in my jar. So the first prompt for Escape the Readathon is a popcorn read, and honestly, I think I'm just going to use Eye of Mines because it's really short. When I think of a popcorn read, I think I can read it in one sitting, and I can get it done within a few hours rather than taking an entire week to read it. So I am going to go with the Eye of Mines because I know I can get through that really quick. A book I've been putting off, I'm going to be using Mistborn for that, just because I know that I've been putting this book off. I even started it and then never continued. I've been putting it off because I'm scared, because it is such a loved book that I don't want to be one of the only people that hate it. So, Mistborn is book number 2, or is a book I've been putting off. Matches my current outfit. If I were going based off of right now, Beautiful Ugly, 100%. It's like pretty much the same color. But it is the outfit that you are wearing at the start when you go to pick your book. So if I'm wearing this outfit when I go to pick the book, that'll work. I'm not gonna put a book on the cart and then specifically wear an outfit though. I'm just gonna, when I go to pick that book, I'm just gonna grab and hope for the best. Two of the same letter in the title. They specifically said that it does not have to be back to back. So it doesn't have to be like the word pool where both of the O's are in back to back places. So I think all of my books that I have on my TBR actually fit this. Where the Dark Stand Still, there are multiple E's, there are multiple D's, L's, all that. The Hunger Games has two G's and multiple E's. And then Song of Susanna obviously has multiple S's. All of those fit. So I don't have to pick a new book for that. And then underrated, I think, quite honestly, I'm going to go with Song of Susanna because it has great ratings on Goodreads, but I feel like nobody ever talks about this series in general. Like, Ian Goobelly is the only one I've ever heard talk about it on YouTube. And I think this whole series deserves so much more hype, and it needs to be so much higher rated than it is. It is such a great time and a great series that I just feel like it needs more hype. And then finally, genre blend. I think Where the Dark Stand Still is a fantasy romance, which is two different genres. So, and it might have a mystery in it. So I think this one counts. So given all of that, I have a book for each of the prompts for Escape the Readathon for when I go to, start reading for that. I'm going to pick 3 more books. I'm going to go to 9. That'll give me a good wide range of books for the readathon as a whole, because those game rooms, you do not know the prompts for yet. So I'm going to pick 3 more books. Book number 7 is going to be a readathon book, which is great. So I just laid out the prompts that there are: popcorn read, book I've been putting off, matches outfit, same letter, etc., etc. So for a readathon read, I'm going to be going with Tales from the Cafe by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, because it is very short. It is a very quick read. I love reading these books because they are such a short, quick read. So this is going to be my readathon book. It's a popcorn read, and it will count for that prompt for me. Book number 8 is going to be the prompt of a YouTuber fave. And I'm gonna go with Phantasma. I've heard a lot of good things of this book. The main character and her sister watch their mother die, and they need money to help pay off debts, so her sister decides to go join this magical game, and it is a deadly competition where you start on one room of this haunted house, actually haunted house, and you have to get out by going through the different levels of the haunted house. She goes in to save her sister, and that's when things go crazy. It is a fantasy romance. Not really sure how the fantasy paranormal romance thing will work. I'm excited to hear about it though. I've heard it is a wonderful, wonderful book, and I know a lot of YouTubers have enjoyed it. They all talk about how much they love Phantasma. I know it's a 5-star read for a lot of them, a lot of different people. It's also a 5-star read of a lot of people I follow on Instagram, so I know that this book is good and that people like it. So I will be reading Phantasma. I also have the audiobook for it, so that might be my second audiobook of the month. After I finish The Wolves of the Kala, I might move on to this audiobook and start that. And then the final book I will pick, number 9, 300 to 400 pages. I need to check to see what these books have, because I know a lot of these are way more than 300 to 400. I'm going to start with Funny Story by Emily Henry, because I've been kind of in the mood for this. Okay. So this is an option. It's got 384. What do you have? Trial of the Sun Queen has 386. Our Infinite Fates has 329, and I think I'm going to go with this because I've been hearing more and more about this book, and I don't want anything to get spoiled for me, and I know more people have started reading it. So I think I'm going to go with this one, and I really want to get to these because I do have multiple Book of the Month books now on my TBR, and that just makes me very happy because I do have so many of them that I'm very excited to get to them and actually get reading them. So I'm going to go with Our Infinite Fates for a 300 to 400 page book. So that is 9 different books. I'm going to go through them real quick and recap. I have a reread, which is The Hunger Games. An author I have read before, which is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I've got a book for a video, which is The Eye of Minds by James Dashner. A book for a readathon, aka a popcorn read, and that is Tales from the Cafe. A book that I have low expectations for, Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. A book that's 300 to 400 pages, which is Our Infinite Fates. A YouTuber fave, which is Phantasma. A standalone novel, Where the Dark Stands Still. And finally, continue a series. I have Song of Susanna by Stephen King. Now that is a massive stack. Will I get to all of them? Probably not, but I do have a good number for videos. I do have a good number for the readathon that I'm doing, and honestly, I'm very excited for all of them. So if you want to see me read any of these books, stay tuned because a few of them will probably be showing up later on. Other ones we'll just have to see, but for now, that is my stack. It is massive. I'm very excited, and I am glad that you joined me on this journey today. So I will have Books with Lexi's readathon announcement down below in the description if you want to join. It is never too late to join. You can watch the video if you want. If you don't want to, just click on the link and follow it to her video and then sign up through the links in her description. So I'll have that linked below if you want to join this readathon experience. It is always a good time. It is always so much fun reading with other people throughout the month. And I really hope you think about it. But I will see you in the next video. Have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and goodbye.